Alright, I always put off making these videos until it's too late and I need to go to bed. Um, and I hope you're not expecting an apology. Instead, what you're going to get is an interesting lesson in JavaScript evaluate. So this is actually a function I didn't even know about. I feel like half the things I learned about, like I learned about maps through cursor tab. I definitely learned about this through cursor tab. And yeah, here's how it works. So basically, what we're doing here is we're running eval. This is just a function, and we're just wrapping it in a try catch block to see if it works. And so the way it works is we have a basically when you go to edit a card on the custom dashboard I'm building, you can use like a blank slate or select a template, but it lets you build your own formula. And I was expecting, oh my god, like I'm gonna have to be able to like parse this input and figure out if it's valid and do like, a bunch of like fucking custom JavaScript just to figure out like, or not custom JavaScript, just have a shit ton of code to figure out like if this is actually gonna be a valid function. But what I realized is that you can literally so you can add these like default values. So we can say add contacts, and then we'll do contacts plus ad spend. This isn't really, I don't think you can add two numbers. Yeah, you can't add two numbers of different metric types. But this evaluates properly because this is an actual expression. But as you saw, if I got rid of the number at the end, then it throws an error. And all that error is literally just, if we have an error, we catch the error, and then we print out the error message, and that gets shown here. So it says unexpected end of input, and the beautiful thing is I used to be able to, what we're doing is for these operators, we have kind of like a list of them. So we have like parentheses, then we have plus, minus, times, and divide. And these are only one character long, right? But then for some of these other ones, these are actually based on a key. So like contacts and appointments, these are based on a key. And what we're doing is if the length of the value for this item is greater than 1, then we're replacing it with 0.1. Otherwise, just the value of the item. And JavaScript knows like, times, minus, divide, I guess. Because it interprets it as a mathematical expression. And basically what we're doing here is we're replacing this with 0.1 because I replaced it with 1 initially, but it allowed me to put like two numbers right next to each other, which you would never do in a formula unless you were trying to imply multiplication. But in this case, because we have the value set to 0.1, what did I just do? Yeah, because we have that set to 0.1, we can't put 0.1 right next to 0.1. That becomes like a number with two decimal places, which is an error. I don't know if this is the best way to do it. I might look into different ways of doing that, but yeah, the idea remains the same. We can basically make sure that the formula that the user inputs is valid. Yeah. And this is like, because basically you're calling 0.1 on this, because this is like, so this would be kind of implied multiplication, but that's not allowed. So in this case, we would have to add the multiplier. And yeah, it's not the best. You have to fucking use these buttons to enter in your formula rather than just typing, but this seemed a whole lot easier than implementing like a text box where someone could type in the formula that they want. But yeah, that's part of what I did today, and it's pretty cool. I did not know about the JavaScript evaluate function. I never really understood how you would execute code. I guess you gotta be kind of careful because you could potentially, I don't know, you could inject code here to run it on the page, but it's just running on the code. It's not going to run on the, it could run on the server, I suppose, but I don't worry about a security vulnerability like that seems so far-fetched. Like, for me, dude, it would take me like hours to figure out how to exploit it, and I'm the one that fucking built it. So, yeah, if you don't know how it works on the back end, I think exploiting that's pretty fucking hard. But yeah, I guess probably you have to be a little bit careful with how you call this eval function and what you're passing into it, but in general, this is a pretty cool fucking expression, especially for use cases like this, just to see if something evaluates properly. That's the video.